Welcome back, everybody, to Just the Tip Tuesday. Today, we're going to be doing just a little talk, a little chat about a good Warframe you may not have thought to use for the Plains of Eidolon Ostron quests. Now, first off, there's a lot of videos, a lot of people out there using Ivara as their Warframe of choice for the Ostron standing quest. Now, this makes sense because Ivara can cloak, has crowd control capabilities with her sleep arrow, works pretty well. But I've noticed nobody else is really talking about using one of our best crowd control frames, the Time Lord himself, Limbo. Now, when you approach Kanzu for a bounty or a quest in order to get Ostron standing, you'll be given 5 different options, each one increasing in difficulty and the number of things you have to do. So why is it that Limbo is a good choice for using with the Ostron missions? Well, first off, Limbo's passive allows him to rift walk in and out of the rift, where he can actually go into the rift and be immune to damage. This makes it easy for him to maneuver across the plains without being bothered by the local Grineer patrols. So taking the search and rescue questline for an example, the first stage is a clear all hostiles from a certain area. Now once you kill the initial group, then you will have to defend the area. Limbo works extremely well with this because of the use of Cataclysm and Stasis. With a high range build, Cataclysm will not cover the entire area you have to defend, but it will cover a large portion of it, and tying this in with Stasis will allow you to freeze any enemies that enter into Cataclysm. Simply having enemies in the area will affect the level of control you have, and at some point will cause you to lose the mission, even if they are not able to move. As of right now, this is the only real drawback I have encountered with using Limbo to complete the Ostron Bounties. Moving on to the second stage of this quest series, you might have something like a search and rescue for a fallen drone. Now, many people have used Ivara to do this because you can place a cloak arrow on the drone and it will be invisible to enemies. However, with Limbo, we can take this a step further and banish the drone, making it completely immune to enemy fire for around a period of maybe 40 seconds, depending on your build and how much duration you have on it. Simply banish the drone and then dash to rift walk, allowing you and the drone to both be immune for the duration of banish to all enemy fire. Once that duration is ended, simply dash out of the rift, banish the drone again, and dash back in. Stage 3 in this quest line you can see is to find a capture target. Now, unfortunately, the capture targets will not be affected by Cataclysm and Stasis. However, all other enemies in the area will, which means you can always use a combination of Cataclysm or Banish plus Stasis to freeze the other enemies in the area, keeping yourself protected when you shoot the target. Once the target has been knocked down, however, you can still rift walk and capture the target while in the rift. Stage 4 in this quest series has you escorting a prisoner to extraction. Now first you will have to rescue the prisoner, which works perfectly when you freeze all of his captors. Unfortunately, even if you freeze the guards around the prisoner using Stasis and Banish, it will still cause the detonation collar to trigger and you will still have to defuse it. Once the collar is defused, however, you then simply have to escort the prisoner to extraction, which is just as simple as banishing the prisoner like you did the drone. Now, as I said, these are just some examples of what you can use Limbo to do and make it very easy for you to solo a lot of the Ostron Bounties. As I said earlier, there is only one situation where I have encountered a problem using Limbo, and it's in fact the only time I have actually lost a mission while soloing using Limbo. That situation is, of course, when you have to secure an area, and that has to do with the way the game treats the enemy presence in the area. Even if your Cataclysm is the biggest bubble it can be, and you have Stasis active and every enemy inside is frozen, the game will still calculate how many enemies are within the target area, and even though they are unable to move, treat it as though they are capturing the area. Just remember, even using the sleep arrow with Ivara, these enemies will still be actively standing in the target area and will count towards you losing control of the area. Now overall, play the game how you want. If you want to go and play on an Ostron bounty using Atlas, then that is your choice. I'm simply wanting to throw some light on Limbo and say, hey, he might actually be a really useful Warframe for some of you. Now here is my current build that I'm using with Limbo in all of this footage. This is my main build, but if you want to see more information about this build and my other builds, I will have a link to my Limbo showcase video below. Since his rework, Limbo has become a master of crowd control. He is now the Time Lord himself, and thanks to that, he can play a very crucial role in any group mechanic, other than maybe when you're dealing with an Eidolon itself. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, make sure you hit subscribe, tick the notification bell so you can keep up with all my content during the week. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if there is another frame you think works better for the Ostron Bounty quest than Limbo or Ivar. Once again, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.